The second lecture is entitled BIM Education for Civil Engineers in Hungary, which was prepared by Professor Tamás Lovas from Budapest University of Technology and Economics. Tamás, the floor is yours.
Yes, hello everyone.
Hello.
Sorry, I don't have my presenter view now because I couldn't share it, but I think you will follow my presentation this way too. So my topic is the BIM education for civil engineers in Hungary, and I will talk about the general AAC industry in Hungary because therefore I need to be a background for the education options. Then some words about the BIM in Hungary, the current status, and then the BIM education at our university, at the Budapest University of Technology and Economics, and of course at the end some words about the future perspectives. So the AAC in Hungary, Hungary's population is 10 million, but the AAC industry is very fragmented. We have more than 100,000 companies, but most of them like 1 or 2 person companies, and there are only 1,600 with more than 8 persons. But that's important for us as a university because they can receive our students to internships, but there are only 23 big companies with the huge construction projects when you can see in the news. And as all over the world, we can observe a low level of digital processes in these construction companies. So that's our task, to improve this digitalization level. And in Hungary, the level of efficiency, which is like one construction workers can build how many square meters in a year or whatever, how you can measure it, but it's definitely lower than in the European average. But still, this AEC gives more than 5% of the GDP, as it's still increasing, although there was some kind of reduction due to the COVID. So BIM in Hungary, we've heard in the morning presentations many things about the Hungarian situation, so I don't want to waste your time on it. BIM design is mandatory for state-funded building construction, and these are relatively mature processes, so these companies have experience in how to use the BIM, how to use it in construction sites, even if in low digitalization level. But in case of infrastructure construction, it is already expected, but there is not such a mature experience in that. So maybe the regulations won't need to be so fast in this area. And education at high schools, or let me say secondary schools, is no or very basic education. I think this is our future task to resolve this problem. And BIM education is present only at a couple of universities. We've heard the colleagues from Pécs University in the morning at our university at BME. So BIM education, when and where can we teach BIM? At secondary education, and I'm not talking about regular high schools, I'm talking about the trade schools or tech schools or vocational schools, I don't know how you call them at your country, but the secondary education where they teach engineering disciplines. So that's one place BIM can be integrated. Obviously, at higher education, there are the 3 levels, BSc, MSc, and PhD. And I want to put emphasis on the PhD because if we start doing research in the field of BIM, that can give useful input to BSc and MSc program, and we need professors dealing with BIM. Even though it's a very practical area, there can be some research done. There are very good examples in Poland, in Czech Republic, in Slovakia, and also at our country. I could mention Pécs University. There are many PhDs received from the field of BIM, and obviously. The industry doesn't require only currently graduated students from the universities, but the engineers already working in the field of constructions or design or whatever, they need education, they want to use it, they need to use BIM. And obviously such postgraduate programs can be offered by the higher education institutes, by the Chamber of Engineers, or by companies. So many software providers, BIM companies, they organize these kind of trainings, short or long-term trainings for other companies or for their own employees. So BIM education until 2019, we have had only some lectures, both on BSc and MSc level, but lectures and not courses. We had dedicated course as 3D construction and modeling of structures, one course using Tekla and Alplan. Don't forget that we are a faculty of civil engineering. And in some specializations, we use the BIM environment, for example, for energetic simulations. And as we heard in the morning, the Hungarian BIM Association, MABIM, was founded in 2014, and it has a strong academic participation. So in the management board, in the supervisory board, there are many professors from universities, and I think that's a very good thing how to proceed. So how did we prepare for the BIM education? Since I will let you know that from 2020, we have a strong education program in BIM. So we built a BIM pool at our faculty. Out of 110 professors with PhD, assistant professors, associate professors, full professors, 20 of them indicated that they are interested in BIM. Many of them have experiences in their own work, in their industrial activities. They are representing their field of interest. So the infraBIM is also represented from the Department of Road and Railway Engineering, from the Department of Water Management, whatever. And these are motivated colleagues. We send these colleagues to software trainings, to how to use Revit and ArchiCAD and the connecting software solutions, Navisworks, Solibri, whatever. And our aim as a higher education institute is not to teach how to use a software. So during these trainings, we also learned how to teach them. And obviously, we want to teach the philosophy behind the approach, the information content of the BIM model, whatever. We also sent and funded and financed conference attendance to these colleagues, and we built study materials, lecture notes, whatever, for a year in frame of the preparation. So we launched the BIM specialization and the BIM BSc program. Our civil engineering program is 8 semesters, 240 credits, and the specialization courses are in the last three semesters. So in the first semester, in the specialization, I mean, so in the 6th semester of the students, we teach the BIM basics, that's the theoretical background in 3 credits, and BIM modeling in 6 credits. That's 4 courses, 4 classes in a week, every week. 4 consecutive classes, students are working in Revit, in ArchiCAD, in Solibri and Navisworks. So at the end, they build a BIM model with the information content, and they are able to create or execute basic analysis on them. Based on that introductory semester, in the 7th semester, we have the BIM cooperation, cooperating between trades. So we have mechanical engineering presentations and whatever. BIM application from energetic simulations to VR, AR applications. The BIM project work, which is such like a mini thesis work. So that's the own project of the students. It is focused on a particular area of interest. So road engineers are doing it in for example, Nova Point, modeling a road junction. And of course, there are many building projects. And obviously at the last semester, the BSc thesis and its preparatory course is in the field of BIM. We put the emphasis on the cooperative program. How can we cooperate with the industrial partners? It's not only guest lectures and lab practices these industrial partners can provide. And it's not only receiving students for a technical internship during the summer, but they are also able to receive students in the middle of the semester, either in a frame of one course, or many of our students, it's not a good news actually, even at BSc level, they are working in the industry. So if we can agree with the company that use the students' work with an added value. So if they are working in the field of BIM, we can recognize that knowledge, that competencies, the learning outcomes they gather at the company, and they can give credit. So it's a win-win situation for the student, for the company, and for the university. And obviously the project work topics, thesis topics are from the company. So these are some companies in Hungary and universities and authorities, smaller BIM construction companies, design companies. You may recognize BIMprove. We have presentation from them, infrastructure companies, construction companies. We are cooperating them in this way. And as we already heard in the morning that we run the specialized engineering program in BIM, 2 universities, Pécs University and Budapest University of Technology, introduced this program this year from spring. It's a postgraduate program. We receive students, not only civil engineering with civil engineering certificate, but architects, mechanical engineers. Based on the statistics of the first 2 semesters, they are mostly below the age of 40, and they have some BIM background. Companies send the BIM managers to this program and co-workers with very low BIM background. So it's a big challenge to us to provide the same level of education to them. It's a 2 semesters course. That was a industrial demand that don't put it too long because they need the BIM experience immediately. So 60 credits. And the tuition fee is like 1,300 euros. It's above the average, let me say, at our university. So in this postgraduate program, students are coming to the university 4 times 3 days in a semester, and obviously they have a huge amount of home assignments. So we need to put the effort for this flipped classroom method that the students are working alone at home besides the present classes, and then we can have them to synthesize the knowledge. And the thematic is very similar to that of BSc, but obviously the students can follow individual tracks. Infrastructure students are going to the departments dealing with infrastructures, and we let them connected to the companies working on their field. So the conclusions, because I'm running out of my time, we need the BIM, that's a statement. Therefore, we need BIM experts, and we need to support them as university also. So we have to have BIM programs. In the next session in the HydePark, when we have the panel discussion, maybe I will have more time to tell more words about that, how we imagine how to do that, in what level we need to use to teach BIM at the universities. But the training is to be started in the secondary education, and the higher education institutes need to support them. And education and training quality is to be monitored and ensured. We are cooperating with the Pécs University. We agree the level what this certificate will mean, that I'm a BIM expert, specialized engineer. We need to have the same level. In the HydePark panel discussion section, I think I will have more time to tell you more information about it. And thank you for your attention. I'm ready to receive your comments and questions also via email. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tamás. Thank you for information about Hungary BIM education.
Thank you.